There you go.
All right, I heard that. All right, it's about 3 minutes after the hour. I'm going to go ahead and kick this off. My name is Steven Spencer. If you don't know me, I am the Vice President of Enterprise Sales for Forerunner. This is another one of our monthly technology overview sessions we're doing. We're doing them every month. We've done, I want to say 4 or 5 of them. And we kind of pick a different topic. I talk to a lot of customers, and they kind of help me decide on what to talk about next. All of our webinars are recorded, and they're put on our website. So if you need help finding that, please let me know. But if you go to our website, under the News and Events section, it'll show the webinars, and all of them are on there. And after today's session, here in a couple of days, we'll get that uploaded on the website as well. So you can just go up there and download it anytime you want to watch it and listen to it, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and go to the next slide. Today's agenda, all right, I always do the Forerunner Technologies overview, just one slide, tell you who we are and our commitment to you. It's just one slide, I promise. And then after that, we get into whatever we're going to talk about. And today is NEC's UCE. UCE is Unified Communications for Enterprise. We'll do a really high level, just kind of what it is and what all it includes. And then we'll get into the roadmap and kind of show you what the 2016 version software is providing, the enhancements. Today we have actually Brian Christensen. I've been with NEC a long time, a good friend of mine. And he's actually, Brian, are you the product manager for, I know you are for this solution. You also handle others, right?
That's correct, but primarily supporting UCE for Enterprise.
Okay, all right. And not just the product manager for it, but you also help with the development of new feature functionalities in the future as well, right?
That is correct.
All right, so Brian is the man. Brian, thank you very much for doing this for us today. So we'll go over all that, and then of course at the end of it we'll have question and answers. Feel free to ask me or Brian anything you want to ask. On Forerunner, so we've been around since 1988. Our philosophy is pretty simple. Customer satisfaction is our main priority. You know, this company is a great company. If you don't know, I spent 20 years at NEC, and I joined Forerunner about 6 months ago. Forerunner's leadership team, the owners, have been around for a long time. Some of them have been executives for other large enterprise NEC associates, and they've joined forces and have built a really solid company. They are NEC's fastest triple diamond dealer. We're a national dealer, so I'm excited to be part of that team. There's a quote on there from Larry Levenberg, who is NEC's Vice President of Sales and Channel Marketing, for you to read on it. And then our commitment is pretty simple. It's stuff like this, right? Every month, just trying to reach out to the customer base and provide you information on NEC's latest solutions, updates, and so forth. All right. So after this call, if you want to reach out to me and ask me any questions about this session or the prior ones, or if you have any ideas or suggestions for the next one, please reach out to me. All right. With that, Brian, let's get into what we're here for today and then jump into the UCE.
Okay, thanks, Stephen. So as you stated, we're going to go through and look at UCE for Enterprise, and I'll start off, you know, with what is UCE for Enterprise. And so most all of solutions out there today have some form of desktop and mobile apps and those types of things. So that's what UCE for Enterprise application suite comprises of: desktop clients, soft phones, mobile clients, contact center softwares, attendance. We also have security applications for emergency notification, as well as we have web-based administration, so that you have a quick and easy way to manage the content. And so that is what the suite of applications comprises of. And so, but what I want to talk about today is you know, what is being provided with the current solution, and so I'll get into that. Here's kind of an overview look of what the licensing structure is, what it provides, and we do support at an enterprise level, but we do realize that some enterprise customers do have smaller sites and needs for smaller systems, so we do support a little bit in the SMB space as well. And we do have vertical specific modules and components as part of the solution. And so I always start off with what was in or included in the previous release. And so with UCE 2015, SP1 and SP2, here are some of the high-level features that were included with that particular version. The biggest one with UCE 2015 was the addition of CMM as our collaboration tool. It does fully integrate with the desktop clients. You have the ability to interact with it from an Outlook perspective, so you can set up your meetings and send invites. Our integration into our clients does allow for instant meeting setup, so adding CMM was a significant enhancement in 2015. Another was the UC connector, and that is a small applet that does allow us to integrate with the previous versions of Link as well as Skype for Business. And then finally with SP1, we added the UC Manager's Call Audit feature. And so what that is the ability to store, collect, and do some basic search on your call history or your call count, SMDR data or your call logs. And I'll show that I have a couple of slides because we did do some enhancements to that for 2016. Other high-level enhancements that we've made specifically to the UC Manager, we are adding some complete system programming, allows us to do much more. One of the most significant ones with this release was adding the ACD WebMat, or the ability to program ACD from within the manager. Here's an overview of what's included with 2016. And again, I touch off with the major enhancements, one being the ability to support geo-redundancy with the applications. And so this is phase one of application support for a geo-redundancy. What is geo-redundancy? Basically, it's the ability for the system to automatically roll over to a backup system. So for example, I have multiple systems. System A goes down. The phones and applications can re-register to system B in the case of a major failure. UC Manager, the basic setup. So this is phase 3. We've gone through multiple phases now. This is phase 3 of the enhancements, notably route setup, number management, restriction management, and system restore. And we'll look at those. And then finally, from a highlight perspective, that call audit. So call audit 2.0 is included with UCE 2016. And it does include a couple of basic reports, which was part of this enhancement. So on the 2016 features, with each major release, we always update OS and or operating system as well as SQL enhancements. And so with this version, the core suite of applications now support Windows Server 2016, as well as the Manager or ME4000 as well as License Manager Client now support Microsoft Edge. So those are browser-based applications, and Edge was added as a compatibility for browser. An applications platform, so this was that first bullet, the ability to support geo-redundancy. And so again, it's that ability for the application suite to re-register to one of the backup nodes. You can have multiple nodes as your backup. And so the example here is showing where you have a failure of your primary node and the system is going to re-register to one of the backup nodes. It's an automatic re-registration. It sees the failure and will automatically register to one of the other geo nodes. And same goes for the phones. The phones will be set up in such a way that should that primary node go away, they will re-register to the redundant node or the backup node. From a management perspective, this is where we're talking about phase 3 of the enhancements for that complete system setup. With this release, it does allow us to fully program a virtual MG-SIP or an MG-SIP and add it as a route within the system. This is a major enhancement. There are some pre-configured setup that goes along with this. You choose your route, it will automatically configure that route for you. Another is numbering plan management. So in the past, we had the ability to see it, but not be able to manage or update that route configuration, and numbering plan configuration. So with this, we now have full access to be able to configure the numbering plan within the UC Manager. Next is route restriction management. This is where we're going to set up and configure the restriction class, the service feature class. I can also configure route-to-route connections. So again, of that phase 3 of overall system programming, and then an additional item is the system restore. And so this does allow you to take a known good backup and be able to restore that to a system should you have a major system failure. And you have to replace hardware or replace an image. You can quickly and easily restore and get that system up and running utilizing this tool. And again, call audit. This is 1.0, and I mention this because it was a very limited release. We only released it to a few. The full release will be with 2016. But with 1.0, it does give us the ability to collect and store the CDR or SMDR. It allows for a real-time search and a basic report. What you see on the screen there is an example of a detailed view. We do have both detailed as well as a small view. Small view only shows you just that first line of information. And from that search, you can search dates, of the extensions, the call types, is it incoming, outgoing, station to station, and then you can search for a particular time. So that was basic with 1.0. Here's a little closer view of your of the search screen. And again, dates and times and froms and call types and times are all specified and can be part of that search criteria. And here's an example of what an export looks like from call audit again, showing all the details about the call, duration, call numbers, extension numbers, etc. And so with 2.0, and that is with UCE 2016, which will release pretty quickly, we've added a couple of basic reports. And so that was the primary update for 2.0 was adding these basic reports. And the most popular was the unused extensions. And that is, as you can see here, this is an example I put up on the screen. You can specify unused extensions, and then you can tell the system for the period of time that I want to go back and search for that. So maybe I want to go back and for the last 90 days or 180 days, whatever the case may be, I want to look for any extension that has not been used or that I do not show a call record for that particular device on. And then the other is org summary. So we specify the users, put them into org levels, and I can run a report based on the org level within the system. Another enhancement is to our UC connector. So I mentioned earlier with the 2015 release that we did add UC connector, and again, it's a small applet that you can install that allows for customers who use Skype for Business or Link the ability to access and control their NEC device, whether it be soft phone or hard phone. So this enhancement allows for integration to Skype for Business 2016, Outlook 2016 support. And the major feature enhancement here is the ability to redirect that incoming call. So that's the example that you see on the screen here. I click on the little redirect icon, and it pops up a menu that gives me a selection and allows me to choose where I want to redirect that call. This also does add an enhancement so that I can select the endpoint to place the call from. So maybe I want to utilize this client to place the call. But as opposed to using my desktop device or soft phone, I want to use my mobile phone. So with that, you get the dialog that you see there on the screen, and I can choose that endpoint. We also included with 2016 the latest soft phone. The UC desktop client or UC 700 does utilize the SP350 as its soft phone. And with this release, we are adding 6.9, which is the latest release of SoftPhone, and is specifically to support Windows 10. Next is our UC contact center options. The biggest feature enhancements here are with the SMB space, adding the additional capacities. And so that was capacities across the board. And as you can see, the splits and schedules and logon IDs, pilots, CCVs, all of those have been increased. Some by as little as 25%, some more than 100%. So quite a large amount of enhancements there. Another that's worth mentioning, it's more specifically on the SV9500, but the ability to have concurrent licensing, and that is where I can go in and program in the system up to 2,000 seats or users in the system, but I may be only licensed for 100 agents. And so in the past, I could only program those 100 agents for the 100 that I'm licensed for. And so with this concurrent model, now I can be licensed for the actual total number that I'm using. However, I can create all of the logins and users within the system in a true concurrent model. And that is available only for the SV9500 V3 and above software levels. It does also add the ability with this concurrent license to be able to purchase additional seats in single seat increments. In the past, it's been blocks, so as little as 50, but then it's scaled by 100s after that or more. With this, again, the big change is A, concurrent, but B, it does allow for an individual seat license. With this release, we also improved the post-call survey app. Today it would provide ringing, but now we have an MOH delay. So in a case where post-call surveys are requested, now while that end user that's calling in is waiting, they'll hear music on hold. And we did also update the Dialogic. It's been a while since we've updated the Dialogic interface, and it has a version update as well. Global Navigator has a few enhancements for it. A couple that are notable is the Linux OS now supports up to 7.2, and then Custom Reports Designer. So this has been a popular request for a while. We do now have the ability to go in and have the user be able to create custom reports, and I'll show you an example of that. You can also share, so once you've created or the user has created a custom report, that user or supervisor can then share that as a shortcut for others to be able to use. So for example, I've created a real nice report. It's providing the data that I want. My coworker sees that and says, hey, I would really like to have that report as well. You can share that as a shortcut, and they can utilize that same custom report that you've designed. So here's an example of that custom report showing the data and everything that I've set up on a custom report. I can show that as well graphically with a bar chart or a pie chart. Those are all available within the reports. Some other enhancements for the Global Navigator, new pilot summary view, active pilots, and then finally the IVR callbacks. So all those were enhancements for this particular release. Global Navigator does travel outside the UC for Enterprise Application Suite. However, it is the MIS for the ACD, and so we do try to have those releases synchronize up with the release of UCE. And so we do expect for UCE 2016 and GNAV 10.0 to release at the same time. And we expect that to happen later towards the end of this month. Looking ahead, so with UCE 2016 SP1, these are some of the enhancements that we're looking at, and that's Outlook 2016 support, iOS 10, and then so CMM, our collaboration tool that we added in 2015, will have an enhancement to that to support the latest version release of the CMM. 2.1, we're going to add some additional call audit features, some additional longest call report and connections alarms. With the manager, we're also adding SFTP, so secure file transfer protocols for the backups We have had some customers that have stated that FTP is being disabled throughout the network, and so as a result, we've added SFTP as a protocol when doing system backups with the manager. Other enhancements, UC mobility or the MC550 app. We're making some significant enhancements here to the web access. So we have a couple of different ways to access this mobile utility. One is through native apps on your Android or iPhone. Another way is through a standard browser. And so this specific enhancement is to enhance that browser-based experience, all new look and feel. We're going to add instant message as well as a collaboration for video. And that'll be just a link. It'll take you over and allow you to log in from that browser experience. But it will add specific enhancements for integration to the MLC or the multi-line client. And those enhancements will allow for better and enhanced functionality when you're talking about UT880, but also for the mobile app. So MLC has its mobile app, as well as the MLC will be released as a desktop application for both Windows and Mac. And so this enhancement allows for better integration, a tighter integration with that application, as well as to enhance the browser-based experience generally. And so look ahead to 2017 and what that might include. One of the biggest feature enhancements is specific to the hospitality space, and that is to allow for our hot sauce integration to handle a multi-property scenario. Other enhancements for the UC desktop, one is virtual desktop support, specifically like Citrix and those environments. We do get more and more requests for those nowadays. We're also considering adding a native application for the Mac, as well as peer-to-peer video support for the UC desktop. For mobility or for the MC550, mobile agent. That has been a popular request for some time, and we are going to add mobile agent capability. Guest search is very specific to hospitality. We're looking to add that, as well as push-to-talk. That has been a request, again, for some time. So we are looking to add push-to-talk capabilities. On the contact center front, so UCE for CC Design apps, the biggest request that we get, and one that we are looking to add to the system, is that GNav, adding it as a web-based tool. So again, pulling up a browser, logging in, and being able to access applications. Today, it's strictly client-server based, and so that's one of the biggest enhancements that we want to make. We're also looking to add an outbound campaign module. Again, popular request, so we're looking to add that. We'll make other updates to our multimedia for chat and email integration, and specifically be able to add those and integrate to the UC desktop experience. And so that is what I have today. Are there any questions?
Perfect. Thank you, Brian. Does anybody have any questions before we move on? No? Okay. All right, well, we wanted to show you just a high level of what UCE is. If anybody has any questions or would like a demo on UCE, if you don't currently have the product, or if you have the product and maybe not using it to its full potential and want to see some of the other modules, just reach out to me. It'll be me or one of the other Forerunner team members will do it, or line up NEC to help us out with it. You know, as far as the updates, if you have any other questions, once we wrap up the call, please just reach out to me. And then one other thing, Brian, can you go to the slide where it had the 90-day trial?
Absolutely. I believe it was this one here. There you go.
Yeah, so, you know, just know that NEC is given, they'll provide you a 90-day trial license at any time you want it. Forerunner can help implement that as well. And I like this tool. It really kind of helps you, you know, let you get the solution in-house, play with it, and then, you know, add to it if you want to. So.
And Stephen, to add to that, a lot of customers are concerned about how that would potentially affect, or could they have it if they have an existing application suite today and they want to maybe trial a feature. So this license goes right on top of what you may already have, does not take away from, but just adds to your current license, and adds those additional features for the term of the 90 days.
Perfect. Thank you.
This is David Alexander. I have some questions. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir. Hey, David.
Okay. I am a Forerunner customer in Atlanta, Georgia. And my question is, how many customers do you have using this product right now?
That's a really good question. From a Forerunner standpoint, I don't have the number off the top of my head, but we do manage and support a lot of 8500, 9500, and I would say, man, it's hard for me to get a number, David. I could probably look at that after we get off the call, but it's a lot, right? In some form or fashion, they're using UCE in some way, right? They might be using it for the desktop functionality. Some customers might just have it for the UA 5200 console, right, the attendant console piece. Some are just using it for the ACD piece. So in some form or fashion, I would say the majority of our enterprise customers, which, you know, I would say it's probably in the 1,000 range, have some type of UCE solution on top of their network. If you need specific customer references, I'll be more than happy to help you with that. If you want to talk to any of our customers that are using a certain piece of UCE, I'd be more than happy to help you with that.
Yeah, please do, and you can give that list to Scott Singer. Do you know who he is?
Oh, absolutely. Of course I know Scott, the legend.
Another question I have for Brian. Brian, I know that sometimes when customers try to install, you know, and try to use, now here we're seeing nice and pretty pictures, but do you get involved when the customer has problems? Maybe something doesn't work right, and they're and Forerunner's having to reach out to NEC, TAC team or whatever to get things going. Do you get involved with those customers at all?
Absolutely. Anytime that we come across scenarios where, you know, maybe feature set or functionality is not what the customer expected to receive, or maybe we've implemented or Forerunner has implemented a solution and for some reason it's not functioning as designed, absolutely. I'm very connected to TAC, and they always let me know if we have some type of functional issue or something that maybe doesn't work as customer expects. I'm most certainly involved.
And when you get that information, do you have a list of those things?
I certainly do.
Do you make like an ongoing list?
I do.
Okay. Is that something you can share?
So normally what I do is typically, especially when it's a customer and the customer is engaged, and it is maybe not necessarily a functional issue, but maybe it's an improvement that would facilitate that customer's needs. I would say probably 70% of the requests that I make for feature enhancement or more is based off of customer feedback.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm definitely very engaged with customers to make sure that the product functions as expected, or if there are enhancements or functionality that the customer sees would be needed, I'm very engaged.
Okay. I'm a customer who just converted from 85 to 9500. We are currently using MA4000, OW5000. We do want to use or see the UC product. So I'm anxious to, I'm working with my team now to get it going, but I know that it appears that very often that when we get applications, get things that's new things that's part of our system, things don't always go like we had hoped. And so sometimes there's a lot of back and forth between my site and NEC as far as why things work this way or why things work that way. So I know that I'm looking at pretty pictures, but I'm more of the person who likes to try it and see how it works, you know?
Absolutely. And that was the reason that we implemented the 90-day trial license, so that, you know, customers like yourself who maybe only use certain aspects, you know, we go through these presentations and you see the pretty pictures, you want to implement that or you want to try it. And so that was the whole reason we implemented this. But no, should you come across challenges, make sure that Forerunner engages with NEC, and if you feel that something needs to be escalated to me or I'm not involved, please reach out to Stephen and Forerunner and let's get on the phone. I'll be happy to talk to you about it.
My team knows that I'm very vocal, so this is my first webinar that I've been quite busy lately, but I do plan to attend some other ones, and I do plan to go to Forerunner's website and to look at the past webinars.
Perfect.
Hey, David, this is Lou. I'm here in Atlanta, and I support, Scott and Stephen with NEC. So I know your site well. Been there a couple of times, so I'll be more than happy to come down. And I've had the UC application run and show you a lot of the new things as well. So definitely we can get together then as well.
Sure. You can send me an email and get your contact information. We can go from there.
Absolutely, no problem.
But I like what I see, but I'm always hesitant because a lot of times that you see something and it doesn't like work the same way as you thought,
Right.
But what I've seen and what it can do, I'm looking forward to it.
Great. Thank you, David. Appreciate that. Yeah, we got Lou here local. We can run over there, show you this 90-day trial. Since you have the OW5000 core software for UCE and using MA4000 module on it, yeah, we could try the 90-day trial as well, and you can play with some of these different modules.
I have 50 licenses, but thanks. I do appreciate it. So we plan to put in like a half a dozen and try them out here soon. Okay.
Right. Yeah, and the other good thing about these calls is there's customers currently on the call that have the UCE platform that, I'd be more than happy to share their information as well. They'll tell you what they're using it, maybe some of the headaches or some of the things that are helping their business. So be more than happy to do that as well.
All right. Thanks so much.
No problem. Thanks, Tim. Does anybody else have any questions? No?
Hey,
okay.
Hey, Brian, Scott Sigger. On the 9500 ACD, concurrent licensing and singular seed increment, is that both for internal and server base?
Internal and server base. That specific enhancement is for internal ACD, not external or server-based ACD.
Okay, all right, that's why, all right, so I wanted to be clear because it didn't specify, so all right, thank you.
Yeah, sorry, no, it is specific to internal ACD.
All right, thanks.
Good question.
Which is really what we're seeing a lot, especially in the enterprise space and with the 8595. Most have chosen to go with internal ACD.
All right. Is any other questions before we wrap it up? All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's session, and yeah, we'll do another one next month. If you have any suggestions on the next one, I have a couple in mind, but I'm always willing to change it. So give me a call and let me know. I'm thinking off the top of my head that we might do a software-defined networking seminar, or we might dig into the call accounting workforce management. I'm thinking about that as well. Those are just a couple of the requests that I've received so far. So if you have any other ideas, please give me a call. All right. Brian, thank you very much for doing this for us today. We appreciate it.
Yes, sir. You're very welcome.
Any questions? Everybody have a great day. Have a great weekend. And if I don't talk to you, have a great Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you.
Thank you.